Hey guys, and welcome back to AVGN Adventures 2, ASSimilation. In this part, we're going to what is easily my least favorite world in the game, Monster Madness, which is fitting because just like Boo Haunted House, it's the haunted level, so, yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
First off, it's in black and white, so you can barely see what the hell you're doing, and also, I don't think the level design is nearly as good in this level.
Well, here's the thing. It's in black and white, so the distinct color that death blocks have, there is none.
Especially when all of the normal blocks have faces. There is one part of this level that tries to trick you like that, and we'll be seeing it about halfway through this level, where basically, like, you've got a string of blocks that have the normal faces on them, and you're walking across it just fine. And then you die instantly because you're not paying attention, and you don't realize, wait, those are death blocks.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell what the individual blocks are while the screen is scrolling.
Yeah, I should also mention that this is a decent run of the level, but I did have to restart this one a handful of times because I got interrupted a lot, and I also forgot where the power-up in this level was, so I just restarted it for a clean run. So that's why why it already says I have the E for the nerd letters, even though I haven't picked it up yet, but it's right there. I'm jumping up to get it right now. But we just passed the part I was talking about. I died a handful of times by just walking into those death blocks earlier on my earlier runs. But
this was my first world.
You picked. Oh, you poor soul. I'm sorry.
Well, honestly, I didn't find it that bad. I don't think the upgrades are really as needed for this world because it was the third level that gave me the most shit, not so much the first two.
Oh, the third. Oh, we'll be getting to the third level. But the reason why you didn't get the cape though, John, is it's right up here. But you need the power glove in order to get the cape. So yeah, I did Monster Madness I think last actually. So
Nerd of Steel.
Yeah. Oh, Man of Steel is more like. Yeah, that's what I think of that movie. It's funny. Because, yeah.
Well, to some people, people do say it shits all over the Superman mythos. So
yeah. The chainsaw guys are really annoying because if you touch their chainsaw, it's instant death. But just the chainsaw, if you touch like their head, you only take damage. But the chainsaw does have a skull on it, so it makes sense, I guess. I don't know.
Well, getting hit by a chainsaw would probably just kill you.
True. Also, I should not have survived that, but whatever. So yeah, I did end up getting a perfect run here, but that is totally not how it happened. I probably died like a good 10-15 times on this level in my first 2 tries, so... yeah. Also, I don't know why I went up there to begin with, so...
Saturated shitfest.
Well, this is actually probably out of the 3 levels my favorite one. Because you press the button and you get color so you can see what the fuck you're doing. Which I appreciate.
It's too bad, because this level has a really fun color scheme. I like this color.
I mean, I get what they're going for. They're going for, like, Dracula Frankenstein, 50s monster movie. And I get it, but I like the colors, so, it's not, we're not playing this on the Game Boy, so...
Maybe the black and white filter was a last-minute addition, because with the color scheme, I'm awfully reminded of the Hong Kong 97 world.
Really?
You know what I mean?
I can sort of see it.
Well, either way, Dunkin' Brownies is playing Sega Genesis.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know which of my friends changed their name to Dunkin' Brownies at the moment, so...
You mean you're not friends with Michael Jordan on Steam?
I've tried a handful of times, but he keeps on ignoring my friend requests.
But you keep bringing up Chaos in the Windy City, and you know he doesn't like that game type.
I need to play that because that just... It's something that needs to be played, I think.
Here's a question. Can you stand on those blocks when you can't see them?
No, they disappear when you're... they disappear when they're not colored. So basically, this entire section is timed, unless you have the Swear and Scout, in which case, fuck all that platforming, and you can just walk
I really wish I knew about the Swear and Scout earlier, because I did that entire section without that power-up.
Here's the, I did that section without the power-up my first time, too. It was only, I think, it was only on my second playthrough when I knew it was there. That I got it on my first run through.
Yeah, but because if you're playing it the first time, your instinct is to think, okay, they put some invisible blocks here to make it less forgiving, to make it more forgiving if you screw up, but you can't actually walk across those blocks and get to the end. It's only after you get to the end that you realize, well, wait, yeah, I could have walked across those blocks to get to the end. Fuck.
And if you don't have the Swearing Scout, you can't make use of them at all. It's not like they're there when you don't have it. They just don't appear if you don't have the upgrade. So...
Yeah.
Yeah. It also makes some of the critic fights a little bit easier because there are platforms that he generally can't get you on. But it's not necessary by any means. Don't mess with old stuff, guys.
Okay, that joke was worth having to play these levels in black and white.
Yeah, the charge shots absolutely annihilate these mini bosses though, because the nerd only.
Says the guy who got annihilated.
Well, that's because I wasn't getting good enough. The critic only takes like 3 or 4 fully charged shots, and if you actually land them, I should say, because I
think Michael Jordan just got tired of Sonic 3D Blast.
Yeah, his gunshots can actually block your shots.
Yeah, and at the very least, you destroy his gunshot in the process, so it's not like you're completely losing out. But if you manage...
Colorize this, asshole.
Yeah. I will... Oh, wait, no, we're not in the boss yet. I thought we were... I was getting ahead of myself.
That was second stage.
Okay. I absolutely despise Deadly Danger Dungeon. Because this level, I think, like, for the most part, one thing that I like about AVGN 2 over AVGN 1 is that the level design is almost completely fair. Like, all the time. Like, I think that AVGN 1 is a mostly fair game, but there are plenty of bullshit points in it. AVGN 2 is almost completely fair all the way through, except for this one level, which is just absolute ass. I despise this.
Simulation.
ASSimilation.
No, just ass.
Yeah.
Not even with a nerd's elongated growl of the word, just ass.
It's the darkest level in the game, not counting the final level for different reasons.
Yeah, well, I honestly like the final level a lot. So.
But in this level, things blindside you. Like
no, like nothing else, and the level breaks its own rules too. Is also the thing, which is what I don't like. Which is what I don't like about it at all.
Want to elaborate on that?
Well, okay, like here, you can just barely see the knot thwomps coming from the top of the screen here. And that's how it is throughout the entire level, basically. So, like, you get all through this entire point, it's if you can see a thwomp before it's coming, at the very least if you're paying attention. Okay, you get here and you get a Boo Haunted House death block section, where they're kind of inching up on you. Okay, you know, this is still relatively fine. You walk here, you keep on walking, and then there's that random thwomp there which you cannot see before it comes to get you. Not to mention that there's death blocks right immediately after that. So when you die and you think, oh, I'll just run fast and not get hit by that thwomp, then you run straight into the death blocks instead. It's just straight up bad. It reminds me of bad Mario Maker levels, actually.
You kind of sound like a less sweary version of the nerd when you're talking about this stuff right now.
It's frustrating because up until this point, the game, because this was the last world I played, and up until this point, I was having a grand old time. The game was, okay, dude, pick a game.
Make up your mind.
Dude, Duncan Brownies, make up your mind, but Michael Jordan really can't pick what game he wants to play today.
He's playing the Tomb Raider reboot. I know that because for some reason they renamed the original one on Steam Tomb Raider Roman numeral 1.
Also, okay, now this is what's really frustrating. I didn't mean to press the switch there. I jumped up past the graphic and it locked me on that because the last nerd level is past it. So what's going on here is I'm speeding up because just on my frustrated rampage to get to the last nerd letter, I ended up somehow finagling my way into a perfect run. So...
You know, there are some games that are actually easier when you just decide to fuck it all and just run past everything.
That is true. I don't think that most of the nerd letters in this level are really that bad to get. As long as you know where they are. It's the last one that kind of fucked me over, because even on my first playthrough, I thought, oh, it's definitely past the end point. I'm going to jump over it, and I got it no problem. It's just this time, the level snapped me onto the plunger. So... yeah, that was obnoxious.
Yeah, same thing happened to me on my second run-through, because first run-through, I hit the switch, but I realized, well, there's a lot of negative space on the right there. And I realized I didn't get the D letter yet, it's probably over there. So second time I went
Yeah.
to it, and I hit the side of the plunger, and it counted, and that wasn't very fun.
If it looks like there's ever something after the exit of a level, always check.
Yes.
Now, I will say, despite
This is my favorite boss in the game.
Oh, I was going to say, this is my favorite boss,
Suddenly,
too.
I feel like we're playing Plague Knight stage.
Oh, yeah. Plague? I'd get more Spectre Knight, honestly.
Oh, was it Plague Knight, Spectre Knight? Bleh, I always mix the two up. Whichever one had the frickin' cemetery.
Oh, yeah, that's Spectre Knight. Plague Knight stage is the most annoying stage in Shovel Knight, though, in my opinion. Yeah, but Sir Werepire is probably my favorite boss, because there's like 50 million forms, and each one's fun to fight, which doesn't happen an awful lot in these kind of bosses. And it's obviously making fun of Dracula having like 12 forms in every game he's in, because...
He's scratching his ass on the floor as he chases you. Okay.
I haven't played much Castlevania, so which game do you think is the worst about Dracula having like 15 million
Oh, I thought you were
forms?
going to ask whether or not Dracula drags his ass against the floor at any point. It's like, no, he doesn't. To my knowledge, Dracula never exceeds 3 forms. There's the original human form, there's the... No, you know what?
Yeah, sometimes he goes through 3 forms, I think, but,
Dracula X Chronicles. He has a secret 3rd form.
Yeah, that happens in multiple games, actually. Like, in Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth on the Wii eShop, which you can still get, but only on the Wii eShop, which is weird. That version of Dracula, he only has 2 forms if you play the game on, I think, any difficulty other than hard. But if you play the game on hard mode, you get his 3rd form, which is
bullshit.
It's almost like it's hard or something.
No, but that form itself is bullshit. Like, getting there is not a problem. It's just, ugh. Ew.
I beat it, but it took me some tries.
Isn't that a remake of the Game Boy Castlevania game?
It's a reimagining. It's not even close to being the same game. It might as well be a different game. It's sort of like Castlevania 4, actually, where it's technically the same story as the first Castlevania, but it's a different game. And it's the same deal. It's a reimagining of Christopher Belmont's story. Well, story in massive air quotes. His run through Castlevania.
It's just the thing about Simon in particular is, despite being the most iconic Belmont, because he's in the first game, Simon Belmont really doesn't add anything to the overarching story of Castlevania, like at all.
Well, most of the Belmonts don't.
Yeah, it's weird that, I mean, granted, they didn't have this whole design in mind when they made the first Castlevania game. It was just like, let's have a game where you fight Dracula. Cool. It's just, I'm surprised they didn't try to retroactively make his run more important. Because that's something that certain game series try to do at points.
They didn't get heavy on story until, I would say Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night and the connection between those games. And these days, whenever they go back to a pure Belmont style, it's usually because they're trying to please the classic Castlevania fans who don't want that kind of story. Who just want to have a Castlevania game that they run through and play and kill Dracula and, simple challenge.
The Belmonts are there just to do their job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is I think the funniest joke in the game. This got me to actually laugh out loud when I was playing it. Fucking zombie, ghost, vampire, knight, werewolf, we're done. So yeah, the nerd just tells off the boss and he leaves.
Yeah.
Asshole. Which is something I wish you could do to all the bosses, but, whatever. And look, he's polite enough to leave the Sex Force piece. He's a decent guy, that Sir Werepire. Vampire, ghost.
So,
forgot the
okay. We already know that the Triforce has wisdom, courage, and power, but what are the different sex forces? What are they?
Assness, fuckness, shitness, dickness,
Bitchness.
And good housekeeping.
Dickish. Yeah, good housekeeping.